Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are we doing? Happy new week or happy Saturday. Thank you for joining us. If you get on here, do me an absolute favor and share this for me. Share it for me to all your friends, to all your family members, to all your sisters and your brothers, and let's have a conversation, right? Let's dive into this. I am super, super excited to be here today with you as God has given us another time, another day, another ability to be here, right? Thank you so much for joining me here. It is always a pleasure to be on here with you. It is always a pleasure to come your way, right? And share this amazing information with you all. So when you get on here, do me a favor and do share for us. It is always a blessing to be here with you. How are we doing? How is it going? How was the week, right? How was the week? How is everything going for you, right? So when you get on here, do me a favor and share for me, right? It's always a blessing to be on here. Also, do let me know where you are watching us from, right? We appreciate the support so very much. But let us know where you are watching us from. I'm looking this way because I'm doing the same, sharing it to our platforms, to our members, right? So do the same for me. So today, as you can see, the topic says reset for growth, reset for growth, reset for growth. We got to reset. We got to be in the mood of winding back off. We got to be in the mood of moving over. We got to be in the mood of tuning things around. So welcome to this live session, right? This hour is a sacred pause. It's a space to realign. It's a space to refresh. It's a space to reset. It's a reset doesn't mean failure. It's faith to a fresh start. It's faith to a fresh start, right? So that is reset. Baby, go. That is reset for you. A space to refresh, a space to rewind, a space to restart, a space to do everything all over again. Get in the position where you are able to rewind, where you are able to pause and align, refresh, right? And to reset. That is what we are talking about here. Resetting. So share for me, share for me, share to all your friends, all your family members. Have them join us. Let's have this conversation, right? Have them join us. Let's have this conversation. It's always a beautiful thing to be on here with you all as I do same on here. It's a pleasure to be your way. Happy Saturday to you. And I don't take your support lightly at all. I don't take it lightly at all. I always love the ability to come your way, love the ability to be here and share this amazing journey with you all. It's an amazing feeling, and I don't take that for granted at all. So, welcome if you are here. Let me know where you are watching us from. Let me know if this is your very first time, and do share to invite others for us as I do same, right? As I do same, you are very much welcome. It is a dose of encouragement incorporated, and as you can see, give me a second, guys. There we go. So it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to be here with you all. Welcome, 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 welcome to today's session. I am so glad to be here with you one more time. I am so glad to be here with you again. I am so excited to be here with you. How has the week been? How have you been? How is everything going and all of that? So, welcome, 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 welcome. When you get on here, please do me a favor and share for me. So, as you can see, right, it says reset for growth. Reset for growth. And as I said, welcome to today's session, right? This hour is a sacred place or a sacred space, right? A space to align, a space to refresh, a space to reset, and a space to get yourself out of that funk. Get yourself, good morning, love. Get yourself out of that clutter, right? Reset, because resetting doesn't mean failure. It means faith in a fresh start. It means aligning your purpose, aligning the things that you want to do, aligning those, right, into the space, the place where you want to be, right? So I said a reset isn't about changing who you are. It's about remembering who you've always been, right? It's not about changing who you are. It's about remembering who you've been all these while. It's about remembering where you've been to. It's about remembering who you were created to be. Right? Somebody should put that in the chat for me. It's not about changing who you are. It's about remembering who you've always been. Who have you been? Right? That is who you are. When we come or when we talk about resetting, right? When we talk about rewinding, when we talk about putting things in perspective, when we talk about putting things the way they're supposed to be, when we talk about forgetting all that clutter and then focusing on ourselves, focusing on our inner being, focusing on where we've been, focusing on how we want things to be like. Resetting for growth. So it is a sacred pause where we need to pause and then find a space to realign, find a space to refresh, find a place to reinvent ourselves, right? Reset for growth. So the quote is, it isn't about changing who we are. It's about remembering who we've been, who we've always been, right? That is what it means. Right? And then we can literally attribute this to Revelation 2:21:5, right? It says that, behold, for I have made all things new, right? So you finding that space where you can realign, relink yourself back to who you've always been, who you've been created to be, who you've been told to be, who God has destined you to be, is what we're talking about here. Resetting, right? And resetting goes in so many forms. Whether it's the mind, whether it's your emotions, whether it's your social reset, it has so many forms to it, right? And resetting beliefs, thought, and inner dialogue for growth goes into the mindset ability, goes into our mindset frame, goes into our mindset, revitalizing it, right? That is where it goes to, because growth often begins with reset, right? It isn't starting over, but it is where we find our strength, right? Because look at it this way. When you say to yourself that I need to reset, it is not weakness, but wisdom. Because guess what? Maybe you've been doing things over and over and over and over, and you forget yourself. You forget who you are. You forget where you've been. You forget how things are supposed to be for you. So, in resetting yourself, you get wisdom. In resetting, you find things that you have forgotten to do. You find things that you have neglected in the process of chasing after so many things, but resetting yourself, right? Reset really happens when you are off track. Yes, it does, right? So it isn't your weakness, but wisdom. Because then you can pause and say, ooh, as he said, I'm going off track. Let me find ways and means to get back to where I was, to how I'm supposed to be, to where I'm supposed to be doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing right. Guys, keep hitting the like button for us and keep sharing this for us, right? So it really happens, as he said, when you are off track, right? When things are literally not the way you envision them to be, when things are literally not the way you saw yourself or where you saw yourself to be. Resetting, right? I said you are allowed to hit a pause, breathe, reset without explaining yourself. Most of us, we find ourselves explaining too much. We find ourselves giving people too much information of why we're doing what we're doing. You don't owe anybody an explanation. If what you're doing helps you to reset, if what you're doing helps you to get to that space you need to get to, right? Reset. Right? I need you all to put in the chat, at what point in your life have you decided to reset? How did you go by it and how did it help you? Right? So you are allowed to hit a pause. You are allowed to say, okay, let me take a break. Enough of the go. Have you ever find yourself in a space where you like you catch yourself and you're like, who? I need to pause. I've been going way too long. I've been constantly on the run. So let me hit a pause. Let me take a break. I've been there. We've all been there, right? That is not to say we are weak. That is not to say we don't know what we're doing. That is not to say you don't have an idea of how things should go for you. That is to only say that, hey, I need that time to reset. I need that time to re-evaluate things and redo things the way they need to be. Right? As a growth is really linear, right? Reset when needed and trust the process. Don't wait till you are totally bent out. Don't wait till you are at your lowest level. Don't wait till things have heaped up that you are boiling up. Don't wait till things have gotten to a place where you find yourself and you're like, why on earth am I here? Before you reset. Most of us, that's what we do. We keep bottling up. Oh, I'm going to reset tomorrow. I'm going to take a break tomorrow. I'm going to take a break the next day. I'm going to take a break next week. And then by the time we realize we are burned out, right? You are burnt out. You do not want to do that. You do not want to wait till you are burned out. You do not want to wait till you cannot even lift a finger before you say to yourself that I need resetting. As we go on daily basis, as we go on constant basis, as we go non-stop, trying to get to where we need to get to, trying to fulfill that destiny, trying to fulfill that goal, that dream, that aspiration. Let's take time to reset. Let's take time to pause. Let's take time to be in a space where we can literally say, okay, I need a break. I need to catch my breath. I need to reset. I need to pause. Right? We need to do that because you cannot keep going nonstop and expect to get everything you have or you want going for you, right? So you are allowed to hit a pause, right? Because sometimes we think that pressing reset means we failed, right? We think that pressing reset means that, oh, nothing good is going to come out of that. We think that pressing reset means that, oh, she doesn't even know or he doesn't even know what he's doing. But it really means that you are really about stepping into that alignment, right? With your next season, right? You're about to enter into that, right? You're about to enter that. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. It doesn't mean things are, no. It means that now you have realized that, hey, it's time for me to hit that pause. It's time for me to hit that break. It's time for me to hit that button and unwind a little bit, right? And unwind a little bit. Ask yourself, what do I need to reset to grow emotionally, professionally, spiritually? That is what sometimes we got to ask ourselves. What are the things I need in order to reset, in order to get to where I need to get to, in order to fulfill my destiny of becoming who I'm really are? Because as I said earlier on, it is you aligning yourself to who you truly are. That doesn't mean that all this while you don't know who you are. You knew, but you've let the works of life, you've let the troubles you're going through, you've let the challenges you're going through, we've let the clusters that we find ourselves in prevent us from understanding how important resetting is, right? Make space to emotionally release and reconnect. Most of us, we don't do that. We are emotionally unavailable when it comes to resetting. We are emotionally not there when it comes to resetting. Right? We constantly out of space when it comes to resetting. But guess what? Letting go is oftentimes the first step to you resetting back to that healthy self, to you resetting back to that bubbly self, to you resetting back that peaceful space that you need to be in. And I wrote here, I said, healing begins where hurry ends. Reset your soul, reset your ability, reset who you are. Take time out and align, refresh, take time out and figure out. Because as I said earlier on, it is an hour of sacred pause. It is that time where you say to yourself, okay, let me breathe. Let me take a breather. Let me pause. Let me hold on, right? Let me realign my goals. Let me realign. Let me refresh to the things that I haven't done in a long while, to the things that were important to me some time back, to the things that are important to me that I haven't been paying too much attention to. A sacred pause, a space to realign, a space to refresh, a space to reset, a space where you don't think that resetting is failure. Hit that reset button. Hit that reset button. and imagine how things are going to go from there. Because not only are you getting out of that funk, but it is a space where you start to heal if there is any healing to be done, a space where you start to align and reshape who you are, a stage where you start to have a healthy healing or a healthy reset, right? When you reset, you are not retreating, you are just recharging for your next assignment. You are just recharging for your next phase in life. You are just recharging for the things ahead of you. So when somebody recharge or reset, they are not quitting, right? They are not quitting. When somebody resets, right? Why do you think or why do you see yourself as a quitter? Because what? You've decided to reset, right? One sec. Because you decided to reset, right? It starts with you understanding. It starts with you agreeing to the fact that I have gotten here and I need to shape things. I need to redo things. I need to revamp things. So you are not quitting. You are not retreating. You are recharging into that, right? So I asked you a question. What emotional weight or ask yourself this question, what emotional weight do I need to release before I move forward? What is that one thing that I need to let go in order to fill up that space? What is that one thing that I need to release in order to be where I'm supposed to be? What is that one thing? Let's take a pause for a minute, or let's take a minute and think through that. What is that one thing that I need to release to start resetting, to start aligning and refreshing in order to move on for the next assignment that I have in place? We don't ask ourselves that question. Some of us don't even do that at all. Some of us too, when we do it, we brush it off. We run for the door because we don't want to spend too much time here to think through stuff, to think through how things are going, to think through what we need to do. But it is important that before we are able to move on, right, we take time to think through what is that emotional weight I need to deal with. I need to release. I need to push out. What is that one thing? Right? Because as Richmond said, we need to reset. But in resetting, it usually happens when we are off track, when we are off that alignment, when that alignment is no more, when everything we're doing is out of place. Right? When everything we are doing is out of place. Right? Reset your purpose. Reset your directions. Right? Reevaluate which direction you need to go. Reevaluate your calling. Reevaluate what is your purpose. Reevaluate your why for starting something. Reevaluate it. Oh, I do not have the time to sit down and mop over. No, Sit down and reevaluate it, because that is the only way you are going to understand what you have to take, what you have to throw away, and what you have to go with. Right? That is the only way. Because look at it this way, every setback that we find ourselves in carries within its seeds of strategic resetting, seeds to redirect and realign us back to where we're supposed to be. Every setback. But what do most of us do? Once we hit a setback, we run away. Once we hit a setback, we crawl back. Once we hit a setback, we out of space. We don't want to be anywhere. Right? Once we hit that place, we're like, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. But every setback carries in seed. Every setback carries in something that will help us in resetting, that will help us in going forward where we're supposed to go. Right? Because look at it this way, every new season requires new system. So reset accordingly. You cannot take the old self to the new self or to the new place. It's a new environment, it's a new season, and so it's need a new system. Mm-mm. Right? We're not getting it. It's a new season, and you need a new system. Reset accordingly. Reset to the space where you can have everything embodied in what you're looking for. And look at it this way, if you've lost your way, reset is how you go back to it. If you've lost your purpose, reset is how you go back to it. If you've lost your direction, resetting is how you go back to it. Sometimes all you need is you stepping back, thinking through stuff, and realigning your steps, or retracing your steps to that space where things were aligned. I wrote here, I said, reset until your action matches your value and your peace returns. So if you do not have that peace you're looking for, if you do not have that action that you're looking for, reset. Right? Oh, but Amanda, my values are all over the place, because you haven't taken time to reset. You haven't taken time to look back into what you're doing, how you're doing it, and everything that involves in it. Right? You haven't taken time to do that yet. All you keep doing is going. Right? So reset until your values match up and your peace of mind returns. Right? As a resetting your purpose isn't abandoning your dream. It's giving them a better foundation. What foundation do you have for your dreams? What foundations do you have for your goals? What foundations do you have for the things that you love, for the things that you want to see, for the things that you want to believe in? What foundations do you have in place? How do you want things to work and fall for you? How do you want things to move for you? How do you want things to progress for you, right? How do you want things to do that? If you are not aligning them, if you are not aligning those things, if you are not putting measures in place to get to that space you need to get to, right? If you are not doing that, how then do you get there? Right? One sec. Right? If you are not aligning that, how do you get there? Embrace boldness and grace to start again. Embrace the ability to reshape you. Embrace the ability to get from point A to point B by resetting. Whilst I was searching or preparing for this, there was something that caught my attention. There was a quote that caught my attention. It says, "You cannot become who you are meant to be if you are too afraid to let go of who you were." Right? If you are too afraid of what people are going to say about you, if you are too afraid of how people are going to receive you, if you are too afraid of what people are going to even say about you, you will not be able to become who you are. Right? You won't get there. Because in order for you to get your breakthrough, you need to reset. Right? As I stated earlier on, resetting means that you are gaining wisdom, not because you are weak, not because you don't have strategy, not because you are not bold enough, not because you do not want to grow. Right? Resetting means that you are okay to break forth. You are okay to realign your purpose. You are okay to reshape who you are. You are okay to refresh who you've been. Mm-mm. Right? That is what resetting means. How do I move from not being in that phone, not being in that cluster, not being in that space, to moving out to align my purpose, to moving out to align my greatness, to moving out to align who I am? Gaining wisdom. Because look at it this way, what it feels like you are at the end might be just your starting point. It might be just your starting point. It might be just what you need. It might be the things you need to do in order to get to where you need to get to. Have you ever realized that when you don't feel like doing anything, that is when you decide to actually do it, it goes well. Right? Understanding the purpose of resetting, understanding the purpose of reevaluating where you are, how you started, where you need to get to. Because again, it is a sacred pause. Again, it is time where you align those goals, those aspirations, those breakthroughs. And it is time that you refresh and you restart. Guys, let me know what you all think in the chat. And share this for us as well. Right? Reset open doors to pivot. New chapters, new goals, new relationship, new energy, new aspirations. Because what it feels like the end might just be the beginning. Right? What it feels like you are at the end of it. You are at your wit end. You are at the final space. Might be just the beginning stage. Go do it on the dining table. Then put it down, Michael, and don't distract me. Right?
It's not helping me.
I give myself permission to reset without guilt. That is what you should be saying to yourself. I give myself to reset without guilt, is what you should be saying to yourself. Reset without feeling guilty. Reset without thinking you are doing something wrong. Reset without thinking that, hey, all is bad. Reset. If it cannot happen, that means it cannot happen, baby. All right? It's going to tilt like that. Just leave it like that. That's my boss man trying to have his iPad on and it's not working for him. Right? Reset without feeling guilty. Without thinking that you are doing something wrong. Without thinking that, oh, this thing I'm doing is very bad. This thing I'm doing, I don't have to. Forget it. You need to reset. And so go on and do that. You need to reset. Go on and achieve that. You need to reset. Go on and figure that out. Right? Right? Refocus. Refocus as many times as you wish, as many times as you need, as many times as you are allowed to. Reset. As many times as you need to. Because in doing so, you are reminding your soul that, hey, all hope is not lost. You are reminding yourself that you are becoming who you are truly meant to be. You are reminding yourself that the day is a divine opportunity for you to get back to who you are, where you need to be. Right? Moving forward with grace, moving forward with no guilt, resetting because you need to. Cut it out. One second, guys. That, right? Reshape who you are, how you want it to be, how you need it to be. Right? Remind yourself that every day is an opportunity to get to where you need to get to. Remind yourself that I need to reset so I can align myself with my goals, with my purpose, with my dreams, with my aspirations. right? Find a space where you go to unwind. Find a space where you go to reset. Find a space where you go to get things done. It might not be easy at the start. It might not be like it needs to be done, but it really needs to be done. Right? Allow yourself to breathe or to reinvent. That's the word I was looking for. Yourself. Remember that you are becoming who you are meant to be. Remember that you are becoming who you choose to be. Remember that I can reset. I will grow. I am not starting over. I am starting fresh. That is what you need to say to yourself. That is what you need to get to yourself. Because sometimes you need to hit that reset button, right? Sometimes we need to hit it regardless what. We need to find a space to do that. We need to find ways to do that. We need to find the ability to get that done. So reset, unwind, realign yourself where you are supposed to. Realign yourself with that goal. Realign yourself with that dream. Realign yourself with that aspirations that you have. Because guess what? Resetting is a reward for success, right? It's the foundation you build for what is next to come. It's the foundation you find for what you need to do. It's the foundation you need to figure out. It's that foundation. That is what you need to do. That is what you need to build. That is what you need to start doing. You grow as you pause, or you grow when you pause, because you are able to review what you've done and go back into it. Review what you've done and revisit it. Review what you've done, and if there is something that needs to be redone, you redo it. Right? Resetting is not quitting. It's a strategic recovery. How do I recover from where I am? How do I recover from where I've gotten to? How do I recover from the things I wasn't able to achieve? That is resetting. How do I recover from all these? Right? Remember that resetting sometimes is not loud. It is that quiet thing that you do. It is that stillness that you feel. It is that silence in that time. It is that silence in that peaceful moment that you find yourself in. So reset to evolve, reset to grow, reset to find yourself again, reset to get to where you were meant to be, reset to get back to your normal or your yourself. That sacred pause, that moment you take to pause, that moment you take to tell yourself that I need to reinvent me. I need to restart again. I need to refresh me. I need to realign my purpose. I need to realign my goals. I need to realign my dreams. Because look at it this way: a man without a dream, a man without aspirations, a man without value is useless. But a man with values, that takes time to reset, that takes time to realign, that takes time to re-evaluate, is a wise man. Pause for a moment and realign yourself. Pause for a moment and figure out how you need to do what, how you need to start what. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I doing what I am meant to be? Have I gotten to where I am meant to be? Have I realigned my purpose, my goals, my dreams, my aspirations to who I'm really supposed to be? That is what you need to ask yourself. Because you are not quitting. You are recovering strategically, right? Because you resetting is resistance in the world that glorifies burned out. In this world, what people glorify is you being burnt out, you being always on the go. That's what people glorify. But you taking time to reset, people don't appreciate that. You taking time to reevaluate and see if where you have gotten to or if what you're doing aligns with your purpose, aligns with your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. Right? Reset for that inner peace. Because look at it this way, you are not a machine. If you constantly keep going, you will break down. If you constantly keep going, you would fall. If you constantly keep going, things are not going to go well and you are going to be burned out. What good is it if you are burned out? What good is it if you don't have the energy to move on? What good is it if you don't have the energy to recharge, to refresh, to reevaluate, to realign? What good is it? What good is it? Aligning for growth, aligning to recharge, aligning for getting back to who we are meant to be, getting back to where we are meant to be, getting back to how we are meant to get there. You are unique in the way you handle things, yes. But in the way you handle things also matters. If you are not taking time to refuel, if you are not taking time to release those stress, if you are not taking time to release those burned out, if you are not taking time to realign back to your purpose, if you are not taking time to do that, what good does it serve you? How well does it serve you? How well does it help you to get to that space you are meant to be? How well does it help you to get to that space you are meant to bloom? You are meant to blossom. You are meant to become who you truly are in life. But Amanda, if I don't go, things are, yes, we all get that. But if you also break down, how then does it help you if you are not taking time to reset? Right? I said sometimes all you need is to hit that reset button, not because you have failed, but because you are growing beyond what you are used to. You are growing beyond that. Find that ability to recharge. Find that ability to sit back and say, okay, enough. Let me pause the brakes. Let me reevaluate me a little bit. Am I really who I am meant to be? Have I really gotten to where I need to get to? Have I really gotten to the things I need to do? You'll be amazed how you can reset without doing much. You'll be amazed how you can reset without giving out so much. You'll be amazed how you can reset without having to break your back for it. Right? You'll be amazed because it takes the courage to know that resetting isn't failure. To know that resetting is you bringing back yourself back to life, bringing back your energy, bringing back your ability to do the things that you've always been doing but haven't seen the result for. Let's reset. Let's figure out the things we need to do. Let's figure out how we need to hit the reset button. Maybe once every week, you got to hit the reset button. You got to sit down and align things. You got to sit down and look at certain things, how they have helped you, how they are helping you, and how they are going to help you in the future. Right? Maybe that is all we need to do. Reset yourself, reset your ability, reset your purpose, reset where you need to be. And every other thing will fall in place. So as we go out there this week, let's reset. As we go out there this week, let's take time to pause. Let's take time to figure out what we're doing, how we're doing it, where we need to get to, how we need to get to. Are we really who we are meant to be? Are we really how we are meant to be? Are we really how we are supposed to be? Let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. Let's find out what we need to do, and everything else will fall in place. If you